Creeper.
Oh man. Whew. Sorry, I didn't see you there. So what are you here for? You saw the title. You you thought it might be interesting? Sweet. Awesome. Okay. Well, it's the first time this has happened. Okay. So, this is the adventures of a Chad in Skyrim. Okay?
Hey,
Understand?
get away from the board. Yeah.
Now you might be wondering though, why and how did a Chad get in Skyrim? Like, what would they be doing in there? That doesn't make any sense. Well, that's exactly what we're gonna find out in this first episode here. We're gonna find out how Chad got here, why he's here, and what he's going to do while he's here. Okay? We are both going to learn. I will be teaching you, or explaining to you exactly what happens as we go through this in this multi-part series. Okay? So please sit back, I don't know, grab something to eat, and enjoy the adventures of a Chad in Skyrim. Okay, before we start this, let's introduce Chad, the man, the myth, the legend.
Who are you?
I mean, he's Chad. Well said, past me. Well said. Now, on with the rest of this. Chad wasn't the greatest of men. Not that he did anything particularly bad. He didn't hurt anyone physically. But emotionally is a different story. See, Chad likes himself a lot. A lot more than everything else, in fact. I am beautiful. Just look at me. Aren't I right, Belrand? Absolutely no one can compete with this. Absolutely no one. You know what? I want to make sure that they know that. And he likes himself so much more than everything else that he didn't mind telling everything else how much more he liked himself than them. And he would point out their issues as well. All these guards are absolutely awful. You can't even see their faces. Why? Because they're hiding them. Because they aren't attractive. You say, don't care. You're not attractive. Who are you? Don't care. Not attractive. Not attractive. And when he was walking by, or at least just along the border of Skyrim, we're not allowed to go inside. He saw one of the Imperial soldiers, real poor, not so good looking fellow. He pointed out his flaws, just being completely unaware, and the Imperial officer cuffed him, threw him in the wagon, knowing that he was sent to be beheaded, and is actively the one that you see driving the carriage. So the story of Chad begins. Along his journey, Chad meets many obstacles. But the first of these is in Helgen. Chad is sent to the chopping block to be beheaded. And no, when I say that he's going to be beheaded, I don't mean to surprise, actually, that he's going to be sent to join the band Beheaded, the very esteemed band from the beautiful archipelago of Malta, which was formed in 1991 by David Bugeja and drummer Chris Brincat. And little known fact, they have performed in Malta, Europe, and the USA, and created multiple albums on top of that. But no, that's not what I mean. I mean that Chad's going to literally get his head cut off if he doesn't think of something right now.
You imperial bastard!
Luckily, Chad's got some friends on the other side, and so a dragon comes up and kills them all for him. Kidding, not kills. He befriends them all and gives them happy, warm fire hugs. It's very nice, and I'm sure they greatly enjoyed it. Me next, come on! Yay! Whee! Either way, he gets out of there. And also, luckily for him, the man he was riding on the carriage with, Rayloff, decides to help him, even though, he called the dragon. He seems to think that was a mistake. But that's fine. He tries to help. And then the man who tries to get him beheaded comes down. And again, I don't mean the band. And they both help, and he eventually goes with the man who tries to get him beheaded. Because honestly, at first, he thought too he might have a chance at joining the band. And Chad was kind of excited by that, because he thought they could use the new face. Either way, he takes their help and leaves the place, heading down to Riverwood. Of course, he couldn't remain in Riverwood for long, because once Hadvar snitched about the dragons, and Chad had to back it up. First of all, he realized that dragon might not have been one of his friends on the other side, but he brushed it off and forgot about it, so it's no big deal. Anyways, he was told to go to Whiterun, one of the largest cities in all of Skyrim, and we can only assume that that's the only reason why everyone there is kind of rude.
Yes.
I mean, there's just this little girl who beats up on this little boy all day long. And then there's a man that just walks around the place asking people if they've gotten to the Cloud District very often. Come on, man. You kidding me? Not all of our dads own farms, kid.
I work with my mother.
You were born in the riches. Not like the rest of us. Some of us has to work in Skyrim. Some of us have to work. I'm sorry. I was venting. And I shouldn't have done that. I mean, we hardly know each other. And I shouldn't have let myself get that far. I'm sorry.
Do you get to the Cloud District very often? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't.
Anyway, Chad told the Jarl of Whiterun about the quote-unquote dragon problem, and the Jarl handled it. Later on, Chad got a feel for Skyrim and how to get around. Maybe a little too well, though. Chad started to take on some undesirable habits. Or in other words, he started He became a thief. But never more than that. But I mean, a Chad's gotta live, right? Right? While Chad was coming back from his latest haul, he met up with a pair of vampires. And after bravely letting his companions deal with them, he went off unsuspectingly. Though, later, as Chad was admiring himself, he moved to the sunlight to get a better view. But found that the sunlight was making him feel weaker. And he was starting to develop a taste for tomato paste. And when he saw onions, he couldn't help but feel absolutely disgusted. Though he never really did like the flavor that much.
Progresses to vampirism.
Out of confusion, Chad decided
I
to
don't wanna
go
be a vampire.
to Whiterun's esteemed
Yeah.
shaman. It's
I
just
make
a
it go
dog.
away. I don't want it.
Chad's crazy, I know. Great shaman, what is wrong
But
But he consulted the shaman.
I'm a vampire.
And the shaman told him
Seriously?
he was becoming a vampire.
No. Oh,
But of
no.
a different kind.
Don't suppose you
Of a
could chant
different,
my
a
sword.
tomato pit.
Of
Of course,
why?
this kind of
No.
vampire was one with an unsatiable desire for tomato paste.
I have to get rid of this immediately.
And a hateful relationship with onions. One not known by many, but feared by all. Especially by those growing tomatoes in their gardens. So naturally, Chad thought, and at first, he thought this was awful. He needed to get rid of it right away. And that thought was very powerful. So he immediately went to the Shrine of Talos and healed his vampirism immediately.
I don't have to be a vampire. This can't be the only way. Oh gosh. You know, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Just don't look at it. It's probably the effects of vampirism. I can feel myself turning. No, Chad can't turn. Chad's too beautiful to turn. No. He didn't even bite me. Is it still on me? Oh gosh. That was awful.
But then he thought some more. And it wasn't too late to become a vampire again. And he had just met with the Dawn Guard men. Maybe if we just worked with them, he could become a vampire while working with them. And then he would live forever. And he would never age. And he would always be beautiful.
Just look at me.
But that's for another time. What? Do you want me to finish the video? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was just thinking about things. Stupid cloud district. Never mind. You know what? It's not a big deal, okay? We're just... Anyways, that last part, that was pretty much the end of our story. You can come again. Next time, I'll be making another one of these, and I will tell you the rest of the story. Till then, have a great day, great week, and I hope you enjoyed. Chad is the best. He will defeat everyone. No one can defeat the Chad. He's great. He's great. He's great. He's Chad. He's great. He's great. He's great. He's Chad.